Hello students, in the last class I have discussed as to how the other angels, the followers of Satan, start gathering in the by the side of the burning lake in hell. Now in this part, from line number 545 to line number 674, we see the variety of other angels that come and assemble there in the line of all the evil angels, and how this act of getting all the evil angels together motivates Satan further, and how they all interact with each other, and then what decision they take in order to wage a war against God, how they are all motivated with the speech of Satan. So we see some action happening in these lines from 545 to 674 in this book 1. There is nothing much special about these lines as it was there in the first lecture, the invocation, and then the descriptions of different angels, but it is just a continued part of what we have discussed in the last class. Now this is like the union forming up of all the fallen angels. I'll start from these lines. A forest huge of spears. These lines are again full of descriptions. When the humans come, humans come in crowds, right? And then when the angels come, they also come in multitudes in hell. And how are they coming? They are all having their weapons with them. They all have their supernatural powers with them, and all of them are gathering together. They are coming with lot of fury. Again, they are now much more encouraged by the speech of Satan, so their energies are brought back to normal once again by Satan. So now it is looking as if, now this is all the description of what is happening in hell after Satan gave his speech. A forest huge of spheres and thronging helms appeared, and serried shields in thick array of depth immeasurable. Anon they move in perfect phalanx to the Dorian mood of flutes and soft recorders, such as raised to height of noblest temper heroes old. Arming to battle, and instead of rage deliberate valor breathed, firm and unmoved with dread of death, or to flight or foul retreat, nor wanting power to mitigate and assuage with solemn touches troubled thoughts, and chase anguish and doubt and fear and sorrow and pain from mortal to immortal minds. So they were all gathering once again, mugging up all their powers, re-energizing themselves, but still they had anguish, they have sorrow, they have fear in their minds, and all this is captured by John Milton. They are shown to have some of these emotions such as fear. They are afraid. Even though they are motivated by Satan, they are afraid to wage war against God. So all these fear, anguish, doubt, sorrow and pain, these are all expressed when they are gathering together once again. When they are gathering, how is the mood of Satan? Till now he was alone, speaking to Beelzebub. And then slowly, when his followers start assembling together, how his mood is raised, how he starts feeling elevated, elated and happy. He starts feeling strength, feeling in his soul once again. That is described in lines like this from 572. And now his heart distends with pride. Now Satan is full of pride because his army is coming together to help him. Now he feels more confident. Alone he could not go and fight against God. But now he sees that his speech has worked miracles on the fallen angels, and hardening in his strength glories, for never since created man met such embodied force as named with these could merit more than that small infantry warred on by cranes. So he is feeling full of hope now, Satan, because his followers are joining him for this cause. And now he is compared with other kings as well. Thereby, John Milton tries to give him some kind of a heroic status. He is the hero of hell, and he is compared to various kings kings who ruled in the historical times in different lands. For example, he is compared to jousted in Aspremont or Montalban, Damasco or Morocco or Trebizond, or whom Bizerta sent from Afric shore when Charlemagne with all his peerage fell by Fontarabia. Thus far these beyond compare of mortal prowess, yet observed their dread commander. He above the rest in shape and gesture proudly eminent, stood like a tower. Now he is describing how all the army of Satan is gathering, and all of them are looking at their king, who is standing like a firm tower in the hell. He is compared to other stronger kings in history. This shows that Milton had also a very good knowledge about history as well, and different kings in history. Further, so he once again feels confident when the army has gathered. From 589 to 594, there is the description of Satan as a powerful, strong angel. I will read out those lines. Their dread commander, in shape and gesture proudly eminent, stood like a tower. His form had not yet lost all her original brightness. Even though he is lost or defeated in the war, he has not lost his charm or his power. He has not lost his original brightness, nor appeared less than archangel ruined and the excess of glory obscured. Darkened so, yet shone above them all the archangel. He still looks powerful, even though he is defeated by God in the battle. But his face deep scars of thunder had entrenched, and care sat on his faded cheek. But still he had the scars and wounds of the war. But he was determined and standing like a tower. This gives a heroic stature once again to Satan, who is a negative character. So book 1 is all about praising Satan as if he is the hero of Paradise Lost, but in fact is not so in the other books that follow book 1. Further, in the next 40 lines from 622 to 662, there is another fierce speech by Satan. By now, all the fallen angels have gathered around the burning lake, and they all are there present in the assembly on command of Satan. Now he is feeling much more energetic, filled with confidence. He delivers one more speech as to what to do now when they have all gathered. It is like a military planning. He starts thus: O myriads of immortal spirits. They are not in less number. The fallen angels, they are in tens and thousands in number. O powers matchless, but with the Almighty. See, once again, he knows that even though the fallen angels together are powerful, they are not more powerful than God. So he accepts that as well here. O powers matchless, but with the Almighty. Your powers are matchless, but not with the powers of Almighty. And that strife was not inglorious, though the event was dire. Although we have been defeated, it is not an inglorious act. Of course, it is sad that we lost the war. He is feeling confidence once again. As this place testifies, and this dire change, hateful to utter. But what power of mind, foreseeing or presaging, from the depth of knowledge, past or present, could have feared? How such united force of gods, how such as stood like these, could ever know repulse? That means he is planning to wage a war once again. No matter he has lost once, but he cannot stop foreseeing the future in which he will win against God one day. For who can yet believe, though after loss, that all these puissant legions, whose exile hath emptied heaven, shall fail to reascend, self-raise, and repossess their native seat? He is trying to ask them, no matter you have lost in the war against God once, but does that mean that you cannot go back to your original position in heaven? It is possible. We shall all unite once again. For me, be witness, all the host of heaven, if counsels different or danger shunned by me, have lost our hopes, but he who reigns monarch in heaven. What is his ultimate aim? His ultimate aim is to destroy God, defeat God. He is his arch enemy, and he can go to any extent to harm God. Till then, as one secure sat on his throne, upheld by old repute, consent or custom and his regal state put forth all at full, but still his strength concealed, which tempted our attempt and wrought our fall. Henceforth his might we know. So we know his power, who is ruling as the only king in heaven. Even though we know his power, we can still conquer once again and know our own. It is not just that we know his power, we also know our power. We are not weak people. We are also equally strong army. We can still fight back. New war provoked. Our better part remains to work in close design. If we plan a new war, now we can plan all the strategies in secret, and we can make a good design of the war. And by fraud or guile, what force effected not? If our army, if our strength, physical strength or military strength does not succeed in the war, we can still make war with cheating or by making fraud or guile, war in disguise. That he no less at length from us may find, who overcomes by force hath overcome but half his foe. Space may produce new worlds whereof so rife. There went a fame in heaven that he ere long intended to create, and therein plant a generation whom his choice regard should favor equal to the sons of heaven. Satan, we need to appreciate Satan because he is a very wise enemy. Being an enemy does not only mean that you should go and fight war again and again. Being an enemy also means that you should know the secrets and also the conspiracies of your counterpart. You should know the secrets of your enemy, only then can you destroy your enemy, right? So in this way, Satan is very good warrior. He is a perfect enemy because he has heard the secret plans of God and he is disclosing all those plans to his fellow mates now, saying that no need to go to heaven to fight against God now. We can cheat, we can win this war by cheating, because I have heard that God is trying to create, God has planned to create new planets in the empty space, and then in one of those planets implant means produce a generation who are called humans, who will be almost equal to God. I have heard of this, so let us plan in different ways to destroy his creation at least. Thither, if but to pry, shall be perhaps our first eruption. There will be our first attack, not directly on the heaven. See, this is again a war strategy used by Satan. No direct war now, because he knows that he cannot fight directly. So he says this will be a new strategy. Our first attack will be on God, not God, but on God's creation. Thither, but if to pry, shall be perhaps our first eruption. Thither or elsewhere, for this infernal pit shall never hold celestial spirits in bondage. Because we cannot stay here in this horrible place. We have to go back. We have to fight back for our seat in heaven. Nor the abyss long under darkness cover. We cannot be under this kind of a darkness all the time. We have to conquer back the wonderful seat of heaven. But these thoughts, full counsel must mature. Peace is despaired. For who can think of submission? But no doubt, we are not going to bend before the God. We will fight. War then, war, open or understood, must be resolved. So now, it is finalized that we will go and wage a war against God. Whether it will be an open war or a covered war is yet to be planned, but he is revealing some secrets of God's plans to his fellow angels. He spake, and to confirm his words, out flew millions of flaming swords drawn from the thighs of mighty cherubim. The sudden blaze far round illumined hell. Highly they raged against the highest, and fierce with grasped arms clashed on their sounding shields the din of war, hurling defiance towards the vault of heaven. When they hear, now they have gathered in multitude. They have gathered in almost 10,000 in number. And when they hear this speech by Satan, who is very eager to wage war against God, they all become so excited, so happy that they start clashing their weapons against each other to make a huge noise, as if to show that they are equally eager to take this revenge against God. So their spirits are heightened by the speech of Satan. Further, there stood a hill. So these lines again describe hell, how they are all standing by the side of that burning lake, and what all scene is there beside these angels that is described. It is almost the description of volcano that we see in the present world, volcanoes. So their volcano is a very, it's like a burning lake. So John Milton imagined that the hell was full of volcanoes. There stood a hill not far, whose grisly top belched fire and rolling smoke. The rest entire shone with a glossy scurf, undoubted sign that in his womb was hid metallic ore. the work of sulfur. See, this is a description exactly matching the volcanoes. This also shows that already there was discovery of volcanoes, and people knew about volcanoes, and also the science behind it, because he uses the words like sulfur, so he knew about the phenomena of volcanoes. So these all lines show that Milton was not just intending to write the biblical story of Genesis, but at the same time, during these descriptions of hell, of Satan, of the rebel angels, he also tries to show us the glimpse of his scholarship in various subjects, in science, in geography, in space science, and so many other subjects, in religion, in philosophy. Thither, winged with speed, a numerous brigade hastened, as when bands of pioneers with spade and pickaxe armed forerun the royal camp to trench a field or cast a rampart. So all of them start going near that hill, which is belching out smoke and fire, and the whole army of rebel angels is now in fury, now in rage, now in the thoughts of revenge against God. So what they will do near the hill of that volcanic hill, and what they will do in order to wage war against God, we will all look at that in the next lecture. So probably the next lecture will be the last lecture on the descriptions given in Paradise Lost Book 1. Further, after that class, we can discuss about the character of Satan. I have already given some glimpses. We can just combine them together and study the character of Satan in brief, and then look at the other aspects John Milton has tried to show in Paradise Lost Book 1. Thank you so much.